All right. Should we start over?
Oops. I need to realize I'm pulling this. Okay. So we're here today to talk about, in order, as you know, and we started building this mall, and I know for sure your company has taken great interest in negotiated a lease with us. So today we're here to talk about a plan that we can come up with a 30 years plan that's going to be in our interest, common interest for the next 30 years, regardless of what happened with the economy or the demographic of the area. So, um, in terms of in terms of the lease terms, so hopefully we can come up with an agreement that's going to be in our interest. Both interests.
Great.
All
We're
right.
excited too.
Yeah, very exciting. So in terms of our lease, I know for sure we already negotiated most of it, and I know for sure you're here today because you had some concern, and why don't we just start talking?
Okay. Okay. Um, so we received John Wright's substitute for Summit's article number 22,
Mhm.
excuse me. And we wanted to discuss that further.
Okay.
And we can start with use. Why don't you explain more of what you guys are thinking about use and what you feel like your outcome. What would you like to see from the stories?
So in terms of, I mean, in terms of Article 22, um, this one was extremely generic, and at this point now we want to bring um, equality through,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time that has where both parties' interests are met, and also in terms of getting specific terms in terms of getting financing
Mm-hmm.
because um, we have to have quality creditors in order to get good, good financing terms. And as this is a mall that's in the beginning, we just start to so we have a generic Article 22 and what can happen there.
Mm-hmm.
At this point now, really to clarify and strengthen that Article 22. So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of um, in terms of the terms that you are the person who's going to bring in your stores, I certainly would love to know what are your certainly don't have any issues with that, but as long as like our needs and our needs and our interests are met. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because we want to make sure um, you are bringing foot traffic to the mall, but is it the foot traffic that's necessary in the best interest for the mall?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want to agree on. So,
Of course.
yes, and we can certainly. I mean, I know for sure you're a great store, a quality store, just like all right, no, strong,
No,
and yeah, and I know for sure. I know the demographic of this store and the kind of people that the other stores that when you bring them in and what kind of foot traffic that will attract. But at the same time, we need to be aware like what if the demographic of the city change? It can happen with the economy and people move and back and forth. Sometimes the demographic that you have now may not be the same. And then it's not certain 10 years from now. So we want to make sure that we cover all those ends and need and make sure that we are covered.
Okay. Well, I think that having our store and the satellite stores, we cover that sort of demographic that you think of when people are thinking high quality.
Right.
They're coming to Summit stores,
Right.
and they're most likely going to go to all the satellite stores as well.
Right.
So we can ensure that any products that we bring in will be of high quality. So that will fit with the customer traffic.
Correct. Yeah, I totally understand that, and I will certainly know. I mean, I definitely know that would have been the approach that you guys will be using. But in terms of a downturn, what will happen?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, you, you, your market is hiring customers,
Mm-hmm.
but when that goes down, it's not your niche. You guys don't know that market,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely want to make sure that in terms of um, as a development company, we have the expertise in that, and we want to make sure we have the control over that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then what are you guys proposing?
First, we definitely want to make sure that um, in terms of the lease and the sublet, we will certainly have um, we'll need to approve that first before you guys go ahead and lease your. Um, we'll definitely need to talk about it. We have to be aware because you guys can't just bring somebody in um, at any given moment without us knowing. So we'll certainly need to have control over that. Okay.
So because we're going to be bringing in different people, we hope
Mhm.
to bring in different types of cosmetics, chocolates. That's really going to bring customers in, and we're doing so much marketing for the mall and for you guys for this new location. Subletting at and being flexible in that area would really help our stores because we're behind the mark because we have to come to you all the time. It would be really difficult. So what we can do is we can operate any subletting as a department. So it doesn't hurt the flow. So when you walk into the store, it is so obvious that there's a different subletter. It'll look like part of the store and part of it. And
before we even consider going and start a mall, we have a lot of research going on to place, and we studied the environment, the demographic, and in terms of keeping up with the store image in the mall. So we have that expertise,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's definitely in our best interest, your interest and my interest, to have or say on that. That's for sure. Um, you can bring any store that you want. That's for sure. As long as our developer, like our company, can look at the agreement, and our legal company can look at the agreement and see and also analyze what is the outcome for our mall, and is that in the best interest of both of us.
So how would you decide that then? How do we how do we know like how you would decide that? Would you show research, market research based off why this would work or why it wouldn't work?
Definitely, definitely. Because I mean, keep in mind the common goal here is you and I to stay in business in the next 30 years. That's our common goal. And the best way to do that is that we both stay open in terms of what's happening in both firms,
Mm-hmm.
in both ends.
So you need written approve. So you want to approve every single person we bring in.
Definitely, definitely.
I mean, what
But let's look at the options.
okay.
But for now, that's the goal. We can always come up with, let's explore your end, and you get to see my end, and then, like you said, we're not in the store market, so there's a way you can bring in a store that has no effect on our on our lease or
Mm-hmm.
our end. So that's up to you. So why don't we just start brainstorming in terms of your end and then my end, and then we can go from there. We can definitely come up with with a with an option that's gonna work for both of us.
Okay. So do you want to start with subletting since we're already discussing it?
Sure.
So let's okay, let's write some options.
Okay. So the characters of the use has to be maintained
The character.
of the stores that you are subletting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I think that if we're within
need to maintain a percentage of what you can sublet.
Okay, so what percentage are you thinking?
I don't have a percentage in mind now, but we can certainly look around. Let's say I would say for now 50 to 65% of it.
We can
That's
set
the
it.
range. Yeah.
We would obviously like to be able to sublet all of it, but we can discuss it. We can discuss it more later.
That's why we brainstorming.
So we would also like to be able to sublet right away because the way that some of our current stores are set up in different areas contain some of these. We have really great partnerships with like Godiva and some high-end food, and it kind of makes our store. And when customers come to our store, they sometimes come for the chocolate, for the food. So we'd like to start that right away because otherwise we don't want to lose customers right away when the mall's being built.
You can definitely do it right away as long as our terms are
Yeah.
within the range of what we agree on, and
Mhm.
you know you can always do that right away, not a problem at all. We also want the options of to take back um, partial, if not all of this lease space. So that's also an option.
For the subletting
Mhm.
or for assignments.
That's subletting.
So you want to be able to just take back part
Partial or all of it.
of the space that we've agreed that we
Right.
sublet.
Right. Not the subletting space, but yes, yes. Ladder instead of letting you subletting. Let me just clarify that. Instead of letting you subletting, because the subletting is a specific operation in the lease. So instead of letting you subletting, so
You'd rather take it back than let us sublet.
yeah, we like I said again, we can say we'll come up with the best term that's in our both interests.
The only reason we would be able to do this, the only way we would be able to do it is if we were compensated for what you're taking back. Because that's,
Then again, we'll talk about it. So
but I'm just gonna put in, compensation to Summit stores.
Okay.
Because if you took even partial, let's say we have 65%, if you took 50% of our store, that would quickly, make us not do well. And then in turn, you wouldn't be doing well if we started losing money because,
you'll run away.
well, the
Yeah, I mean,
customers would be
you
happy.
probably go out of business.
We'll go out of
because-
business
Yeah,
and
because the demographic of the environment will not be able to support you. So
Mhm.
then we'll And should we take a picture? Oh, in terms of like, yeah, I'll probably take some notes later. So we can actually go back home and actually think about those things and then come up with a better scenario.
Yeah, I don't wanna write something down.
Yeah.
Also, if we want to do.
Is that still going, by the way? Even though it's bad?
You
Okay.
see the green light?
All right.
So we would like to use, if, we'd like to have the option to, bring in sublets that are not part of our current offerings.
You mean like your current market demographic?
Yeah. I mean, it will be high quality, whatever we bring in.
Right.
But we may want to bring in some different things that we see that our customer really wants that complement our current offerings.
Sure, that's fine with me. As long as, like I said at the end, we can have our say on that. That's definitely fine with me.
Um, So what if we bring in the sublet for 6 months to a year and see how it goes for these different offerings? So we're concerned that what if you have different market research than we do on a certain product? Let's say we don't currently have high quality appliances. Let's say we think we should bring them in, and we have a supplier and someone who's going to come in and sublet a space and have a new department. And we think that it would be a positive thing and bring more people in, and you don't. How would we resolve that? Could we do a 6-month to a year trial period? Because then we'll keep you in the loop about it, but it's just if there's a disagreement, one of us could be wrong. And 6 months to a year shouldn't make a huge dent, especially since the store is so large and it's one department. So we can analyze the results after a trial period. So we'll bring it in. Okay.
What would you say in terms of subletting? We can divide that into short-term and long-term contract. Maybe like in your trial period at the end, you can put that as an option.
Okay.
Before we discuss in terms of the terms. Maybe in scenarios like that, in short-term contracts, let's say anything from 1 to 3 months, I don't have to see that. And then anything further more than between 9 months and a year to 3 years, from there, I can certainly, we can come up with a solution from there in terms of the terms.
Right.
And then you and I, we can definitely, long-term contract, I have to have my say on.
Yeah.
We have to have our say.
Right.
Short-term contracts is up to you.
And we might want to be, we would look at it as if it's a little risky, we'd probably want a short-term contract anyway because it doesn't work for either of us if it doesn't work.
Right.
And before giving someone an experimental department a super long-term contract anyway. And then we can also, if we start with a short-term show you how well they're doing before presenting you for a long-term
Oh,
contract.
definitely, definitely. In terms of how well the finances are and all those things, we'll get to review all those documents before signing on a long-term contract. And this way, both sides are definitely covered, regardless of what happened with the economy in the next 5 years or 10 years from now.
So how long is long-term? It's 3 to 5 years, I think, or 3 to 10 years, because would be a long-term contract.
And then come back, okay, right?
Okay.
We can, what we can do, we can go back and,
We can put preliminary.
right, and then we can come back, next time we come back, we can research on those, what is long-term mean to you and I, and then what is short-term means, and then we can both come up with a range, and then we agree on something.
Yes,
Because at this point now, it's, at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be like concrete. It's what does it mean for you and I? It could be long term, could be 5 to 10 years, while short term means 3 months to 1 month to. We'll
Yeah.
we'll discuss.
We'll discuss, because I think
Yeah.
1 month to 3 months is way too short for short term, because we have to advertise them. It takes advertising, and it's
Right.
such a short period.
Okay.
Okay, so this is subletting. We can move on to brainstorm. Let's see.
Assignment
We can talk about assignment,
or
or you want to talk about use, since we're kind of talking about subletting anyway. So what are you guys thinking in terms of use?
again, in terms of use, it goes back to also subletting. I know for sure you're leasing a lot of the space in the mall, but at the same time, um, we need the option to take back um, a lot of partial, if not all of the space, just in case if whatever traffic that you're bringing to the mall, and also whatever happened in the economy the next, let's say, 5 months to 30 years from now, we'll be able to stay in business. And let's say that, again, our demographic has changed. We want to make sure that we have the option of working things out for us in the next 30 years.
Yeah, I think though, is that more of assignment, or you think use is like our product offering? Because use, we at some stores will have a commitment to maintain high quality goods.
Okay, hold on one second. Oh, you're right. Hold on. 1 second. Well, that's my want in terms of the use. The use, because I mean, for you, it's a different category in terms of, you maintain the quality stores that you want to bring. That's what you want to use your store for. But at the end of the day, I want to have some control in terms of the space, because you definitely gonna bring stores and products that are in your best interest, not necessarily the best interest of the mall. So we want to retain some control over that. Let's say if demographic of the environment has changed, and you no longer have the white collar upper middle class people. It's either move to either way high end, wealthy, or below like middle class. I want to make sure because if you keep bringing the same high end people and in terms of in terms of the store that you're bringing in, and I don't have control over that, of course the mall will collapse because we want to maintain like, just like if you go to the North Shore Mall or the Peabody Mall, you have access to both ends of the demographic of the customers. But right now, we are focused on the high-end people that your demographic is related to. But at the end of the day, we want to maintain some aspect of control of the use of the mall if things change
Okay.
and what we see there are best interests at this point.
Okay. Um, we would like to too, and just because our product offering is high quality doesn't mean it always has to be high expense. Um, so we understand that, and if the demographic does change, we will clearly not do super well if no more people with expendable income start coming in. We would though like to be able to our company, not subletting or leasing it out, our company, if we have new product offerings, we'd like to bring that into the store because we like to stay consistent over all of our stores. So, and because all of our stores have the Article 22 that you had seen, that we are able to use and bring in any products that we want, we just want to keep it consistent. Because when people come into us in a store, we want to say, here's this department, here's this department, here's this department. We don't want it to be like, oh, I didn't know they had this, and I came in for this, but they don't have it. So we'd like to stay consistent with our stores, and yeah, and be able to bring in different high quality, not necessarily super high expense, just things that our store normally has, and different products that we're introducing because we're doing all this market research about what our customers, specifically our customers, want. So we understand that you have different tenants around our store, but we would like to still be able to offer new products that we introduce regardless. Because most people are coming to the mall for our store.
Okay. Well, we certainly would love to have some control over, like a compromised control in terms of the character of the style and the styles of the stores that you bring it in. And,
You mean the product offering, like the products?
no, we don't care about the products.
You don't care about the products?
Well,
So
at this point now, in terms of,
because that's what
it's for you, the products matter, really matters.
okay.
But for me, it's the list and the amount of traffic that your products are bringing in. Specifically the use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say we bring in products.
It's the use and the tenants that you are bringing in. In terms of the products, I can assure you, you're not going to bring a product that's not in your best interest.
Right.
Right.
So we can bring in whatever products
Right.
fit
Your need.
our need. Okay.
Right. But
Okay, hold on. Let me write that because I guess I'm not quite understanding. Thank you.
okay, maybe I'm not understanding it either. So it's a good thing we are
Yeah.
cutting this out.
Stores just we would like to be able to use it the way that we see fit.
Right. But at the same times, right? Um, I still want to have some control in, let's say you occupy the first floor and you want to make the first floor electronics, right? I still want to have partial control in the space, right? The use of the space. And depends on what kind of products that I see that are more compromised of what I would love to see in the first floor. Because at the end of the day, we study those things. We know what's the best in terms of reading. It's just like when you go to Stop and Shop or whatever, any grocery stores, the little tins that are like batteries and gums and all the other, it's always at the front of the store. And we want to maintain that control because we know the market. We study it. We don't want you to come just, to come and have in store at the front store. No, we don't want that. We want to make sure that we cater the first floor to the need of our customers. And at the end of the day, you are bringing traffic to the stores, but not all the traffic to the stores will be interested only in your stores. We want to maintain specific control on both sides, partial control of the use, and in order for us to bring some of the stores, some of the space to other stores that will be compromised in terms of what's happening.
Okay. So we will set up our department store the way, you've been to a Summit store before. We will initially set it up that way, where you walk in, there's the cosmetics, perfume, all of that. We're going to set it up that way to begin with. If we have new products that are not consistent with our brand, we can do something like the short term, long term, not so much a lease, but try them out before, so we can show you how they're doing with customers.
So in terms of the use, we want to maintain flexibility in both ends.
Okay.
That's my proposal.
You just want to maintain
flexibility in terms of the use of the space.
Okay.
And again, that's up for discussion next time when we come up with our terms.
So we would like it to be we would like the flexibility as well, but we'd like to be able to use our space based off of what our customers' needs are. I think we're both wanting to worry about our customers' needs. So like if we see that the cafe has 2 tables outside of it, we see that it's always so popular, always so crowded, everybody wants the seats, we might want to take up more space with a few more tables. Not to ruin the ambiance, but just to use the space a little more effectively to make our customers happy if that's what they're coming to the store for. To make a day of it, to shop, and then to get some food. So we want to be able to change our space the way that we see that the customers are doing it with
In terms of customer your focus is your customers,
Yes.
right? Our focus is the demographic of the area and the mall.
Mm-hmm.
So, keeping that in mind, um, your focus of the customer's need may not meet the whole mall or the demographic of the area. So, keeping that in mind will certainly need flexibility of the space in order to cater. Because I mean, let's say um, at this point now, right? Um, high-end clothes. There is a big driver in high-end clothes. People are not buying high-end clothes at this point, and there are, especially the millennium, they're focusing more on um, workout clothes.
Yes.
That's what they were interested in. Um, a Nordstrom company is not going to drop all their high-end clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And go straight to um, workout companies. At this point now, I want to be able to make sure that I maintain some of the space when I notice, like, as a high-end store, your clothes are not selling. It's not bringing the traffic. I want to make sure that I be able to bring in Under Armour, Atlanta, in order to drive. Although it's probably the same high-end companies, right? That are, I mean, it's the same high-end customers, except they don't have interest in your, pretty hippie clothes anymore. They don't want to wear it. It's just like that's the main driver.
So you would want to bring in things to our store under our brand.
Yeah. Technically, I want to maintain the space and the use to fit the needs of those customers.
To make sure that we are bringing in products that meet that need. Is that right? So let's say you find out that they're not finding, let's say Summit Stores is, people aren't buying as many high-end clothes.
Right.
What then would you do?
I will probably bring, because I will probably bring Under Armour. I will think about it like Macy's is at the Simmons Mall. They can't bring Under Armour. I need to have
You'd want to take over subletting.
technically in the use. That's where to use because you can't use 100% of the space. I will just In terms of this, that's exactly what I want. I want partial, if not all, the subletting. If I have control over that, because think about it, Macy's or Nordstrom, they can't bring Under Armour. They can't bring Atlanta. I, as the developer, I can actually contract with those stores. And although it's probably going to be your same high-end customers coming in, they might go to your store and find something that they need, and then they're not interested in the high-end clothes, and then they go to Under Armour, or let's say vice versa. They're not interested in the high-end clothes, but they can go to your stores and get the shoes. It's definitely a 50-50 compromise for both of us. Because if I let you have, let's say, if it's Macy's, right? Just forget about Summit, it's Macy's. And Macy's rent that store. Of course, they have a partial of the workout clothes, but Macy's does not have Atlanta or Under Armour. That's what most people, especially if they brand conscious, they don't have that. Let's say you go to your Simmons store, right? It's most likely going to be high-end customers, but they can't find that at Macy's or Nordstrom. So if I have the control, if you're, let's say, a Macy's does not give me the control to sublease the space, and they come and they don't have those stores, what's going to happen? Your sale is going to drop, my mall is going gonna go down the drain. You
Okay,
see the point?
I do, but you're just taking away space from us when you want it. So that's what concerns me about that. If you were to take some of the space, I feel like we would have to work out some compensation for that.
Yeah, that's all out there. As long as we come up with, the terms that's gonna work out for both of us. So everything at this point is a give and take.
So take, right,
Right.
okay, right, can take control of certain percent, which we
Yeah,
talked about.
that's why I said maintain flexibility for use of the space. So it's a matter of control the percentage of the space. Although you are leasing it,
So
but I
this
still,
is right, so
yeah.
we would like to maintain flexibility as well, but
Sure.
for what we want.
Sure.
So, both stores, so if you're gonna, I feel like if you're going to take a percentage and do it to something like athletics, it's something you should discuss with us, cause it's gonna be within our space.
That's where Article 22 needs to be modified
And then,
and acknowledge.
okay, and then, I mean, but if you didn't want, you're gonna take it from us and not discuss with us, then we would want the same flexibility,
Sure.
you know? Because we also have a high, quality to maintain in our brand, and if suddenly you decide to put in a candy store in our store, it wouldn't really go with our brand.
Definitely.
So we would want to discuss that with you.
Sure.
Discuss the use. And yeah. Okay. And would we be able to do this right away? You think we could keep, if we have new products that we want to bring in, can we do that right away? That are consistent with our brand?
Sure, as long as we discuss the terms and again in the lease. I think that's my primary concern is the lease of the space. Is it in a both parties' interests?
Right.
Is it in our both? Because let's say if you wanted to bring a product or a new company right away, and I probably had the same intention, so it's probably not in our best interest. So it's better like we both. That's where coming up of we both know what's happening and knowing what kind of customers. And let's say I was about to bring a store that you mentioned that earlier. That's not in the best interest of your customer end. It's
Or
better.
even just our brand.
You're right. It's definitely better for both of us to know that. It's like having Nordstrom and then on the same floor, then you have the same store. Let's say Nordstrom is right here, and then right here, I have an Old Navy or an H&M. I don't think I have ever seen that. So you want to make sure here, it's not gonna ruin me. Like instead of having, Summit Story is high end, instead of having an old Navy on the first floor next to you, I go all the way on the other end, or it's just like I can bring that in. I just have to make sure that it's not affecting your customers, and at the same time, I'm meeting my customers' goal.
Okay. And if we would like to bring in products, and we can notify you when we bring in new products, and
I think for me, which will be, um, we can definitely discuss that in order to finalize Article 22. It's just I would love to see and review um, the terms of the list and also the financing control, not control, the financial, the financing um, health of the company that you're able to bring in. And I'm sure I can be very confident you're not going to bring a company that's going to go um, bankrupt in the next couple months. That I know, but I will still want to see it because at the end of the day, there's opportunities for both of us by reviewing both customers' health and the lease and the terms.
I'm just saying under our brand.
Right.
Okay. You want to talk about assignment, or do you want to do it?
Picture. Hopefully, that'll come out nice.
I'm gonna write it down.
You are. Yeah. I'll just take a picture. And then we can think about all those.
I'll go over here to write assignment. Okay, just push the envelope. All right. Okay.
Assignment. So what's in there?
So like you were talking about before, if something were to happen to our company, if the demographic changed or something, you would clearly want us out and we would like to be out
Certainly.
because it's not working. It's just not a good fit. So if the company should file for bankruptcy, we can be out. I'm just saying. The worst. We should file
Let's
for
just make
bankruptcy.
sure that doesn't happen based on our contracts.
If we were to file for bankruptcy, we'd like to be able to get someone else to take our space within 2 months because we would just sell all the product, and which actually would do well for your mall because your demographic would change to a lower price
Right.
market anyway.
Right.
So if we file, we would like to be out in 2 months and assigning it to someone else because it wouldn't be.
In 2 months?
You think 6 months?
Let's just think about that because I don't think it can happen in 2 months. And 2 months in terms of me finding another lease, some other companies too, it's just not happening. So I would say for now, let's contemplate between 9 months to a year and a half or 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Because even for you, before you get out, you have to,
Sell the
Um,
product.
yeah, you have to liquidate everything you have. Like we definitely need to work out on. We
So
can
we
come
get
back
to-
in terms of
We can with the specifics, but I'll just put 9 months to a year. And I would like, not just for bankruptcy, but if the downturn economy, if the demographic changes, like you said. I think we don't want these things to obviously happen. But
But
what
you certainly have to be prepared in the next 30 years. Have you seen it yourself? I've seen it myself.
yeah.
Anything can change in 5 years to be the max. Everything can be dramatic. Who would have thought that I learned that Victoria's Secret is dropping their swimsuit model to go straight to workout gears? You know?
Yeah.
Nobody would have never expected that.
Never.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So also, if we find out that this is really not a good space for us because the demographic changes or
Right.
something, we would like to be able to notify you and to come up with a new tenant
Sure.
for you with the same credit checking, operating history, and acceptable product line. But we would like to be able to do that within like a year or something. We could talk about that.
yeah. We'll
But
talk about that.
but Summit want to leave mall, find anchor store with similar credit, operating history, and product line. Or how about this? Because you know what? You may not want the same product line. Would you? If we're not
No, I
doing
mean in
super
terms
high.
of you want to find another anchor store, I certainly will need to have control over that also because, like you said, the demographic no longer fit your needs. It's up to you want to find an anchor, but you definitely want to find an anchor stores that gonna meet the demographic, right? But at the same time, I need to have control of what are they gonna bring? Is that gonna support the whole traffic of the demographic that's gonna come to the store? And I can assume we will both need the same outcome as
Yeah.
long as we definitely review the health and the operational and um, um, all those terms of the lease as long as we're both on the same on the same on the same stage. And for me, I will not want a very long term lease. That's for sure. That's what's in an assignment. I will say flexibility is the key for me here. Let's say in terms of the lease, I can give you a lease or your anchor list. Let's say it can change quickly in this environment. Okay, I give you a 5 years lease. After that, I will need to 5 years lease, right? You can do whatever you want in 5 years as long as, you know, we both in agreement in all three of those issues. It circle back to all three of those. Then after the 5 years is over, what are the terms? Do we go on a month to month, on a 6 months, or a month? And if you are gonna bring new anchor, the new anchor lease should not be more than a year or 2 years. And like I said, we just discuss it. If the new anchor is doing really well, maybe we can extend it for another year, another 6 months until we see what's happening with the demographic and the health of the economy. So that's
So-
my wish in there.
Do you want,
But again, flexibility.
so if we find another anchor store that has similar credit, operating history, we want a shorter lease with this company. We think, it, I mean, we'll have to talk about the years. 1 to 2 years is not much to get a company going.
Like I said, we can have release for 1 and 2 year, and then thereafter,
But every 6 months?
maybe a year. Oh, let's say a year, because like you said, let's say I don't want that company there anymore. You know, be realistic. They will be needing another 6 months to liquidate their stuff or whatever, and then
Well, this will be an established company, so they're not gonna be easily moving things in and out. Like you said, you know, not
no,
doing-
that's what that's what I said. I acknowledge that. Let's be realistic, maybe.
So, I mean, I think a shorter lease is more like 5 years. And then,
Well, to be honest with you, I want to give you 5 years. So I don't know if you want to give your anchor list 5 years.
can you repeat that, please? You don't? We want an exit plan if things aren't working.
Right.
And we wanna set you up. We don't wanna leave you high and dry.
Right. But at the same time,
And we have a 30-year lease. That's a really long time.
right.
So if things aren't going well in 10 years, then you could negotiate.
Okay, I was yeah. We can come back like let's say between 5 or 7 years, or let's say three to 5. Because things you know things really change. It's not a matter of credit. Let's say 3 to 5. It's not a matter of credit. I think it's more of a matter of what's happening in the economy. You know, it's like okay, you can have good credit, you can have a very established company, but at the end of the day, that's a wide range. We can do 5 to 7 or 3 to 5. Let's put that in, then we can decide next time. Yeah. Yeah. 3 to 5 or 5
And then
to 7.
review. To see if it's working out.
Right. Over here, I want to say 3 to 5 or. Is that fair? Yeah, depending on what we come up with. So 3 to 5 or 5 to 7. Yeah, I think in assignment, that's my main concern.
Okay, let's see. Would we be able to assign right away if we see there's a huge push after a year?
As long as we both agree on the terms and what's you know, the whole operational of the company and what's happening. Because at the end of the day, we still need to prepare the space for you and make sure that everything is on its way. So it's a matter of working pins out. Enough notice on your end, enough notice on my end. Do I agree for the store to come in? How is that store gonna affect the remainder of the mall and the demographic of the environment?
I think we would also need terms to talk about what if we can't agree on this? If we brought you, we think maybe like three really good anchor stores and you've rejected them all, and we're in a tough spot.
While the space is empty. Maybe,
So, I mean, we're paying for it, so we're probably not out of there yet,
right,
but we're not doing well.
correct. And like I said, this space is empty. Because I mean, you're on your way out, and then, I don't know, or maybe you're already out, and we still can agree on,
We'd have to agree on if we're gonna leave, we leave within a certain amount and we'll get someone in at that. I mean, we should have some sort of timetable because you don't want any empty space.
no,
That's
we
just
don't.
the worst.
No, no, we don't.
So
Yeah, we can work out on the terms.
we'll talk about a timetable for if Summit leaves. For any reason. Timetable. So like we have to maybe present two, if we present, we'll present two, like two anchor stores to you, and you can decide.
That's fine.
Stores that we will lease to.
Alright. And then in the meantime, I guess, we can,
What do you think about it?
yeah, we'll definitely review, think about it, and then,
Make some decisions.
next Saturday?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
At 11
And then in
o'clock.
the meantime, during the week, if I come up with any, idea, like that's not part of it, we didn't discuss, I can certainly email you and say, what do you think of this, what do you think of that? You can do the same, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even we can just make a note of it and then just bring it to the table too.
We're gonna get 10 pages out of this. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the goal of next week is to come up with,
Our terms.
it's to modify Article 22 that covers all that.
Yes.
It's just a matter of coming up with a link